Well, if we're gonna find any ghosts, we better split up.
You're listening to Never Split Up, a horror movie podcast.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Never Split Up podcast. Today is episode 108, and we are doing all things Scream 7. We're covering Scream 7 before its release. We're going to talk about what we want from the movie and what our predictions are. We'll talk a little bit about our current rankings if nobody's caught up on our rankings. And this should be a fun episode. Alongside me, as always, is Anthony and Oriana. How you guys doing today?
Not too bad. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for Scream 7 and talking all things Scream 7, and just with like doing all of our rewatches and talking about how I feel about like all of those rewatches. I'm excited.
Yeah, I saw on social media you were doing your rewatch. You finished all 6 by now, I'm assuming?
No,
you got through them all?
I have 5 and 6.
You have 5 and 6.
I stopped at 4, so 5 and 6 is where I left at. I had to finish. I've been in the like new Game of Thrones TV show,
yes,
so I had to like
yes, me
binge
too.
watch
me
that.
Too. Yeah, I got to watch the finale. Yeah. Okay, great.
Yes.
Yeah, what about you, Ann? How you doing? This is the week of Scream. We're recording this on Monday. This episode's going to drop on Wednesday, and then we got Scream on Thursday. I know you got your tickets already. You excited?
Yeah, happy Scream 7 week, everybody. This is like when I thrive. So this is my franchise. This is my baby, and it's going back to why I love it. So I'm so amped. I'm going to see it 3 times this weekend. I'm going for the fan event at Dolby. I'm going to go into the city and see it in the biggest IMAX in the country, and then see it one more time on Sunday just to, really take it all in. I'm so pumped.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to be the last of us to see it. I'm not seeing it until Sunday, so I'm going to have to avoid pretty much the internet in general. I've already had to kind of tiptoe around the internet with people online. Yeah. So, but yeah, we're all excited here at the Never Split Up podcast. Let us know your thoughts. How excited are you for the film? What's your predictions and whatnot? And we're going to just kind of have a fun little discussion. Before we get into it, I know, Oriana, you wanted to talk a little bit about some of the cool experiences you had recently, the last couple of weeks. Promoting, I guess you would say promoting or doing some collabs with Scream 7. So why don't you talk about those real quick? Because those are really cool.
Yeah, so I've been helping promote Scream 7, and I was lucky enough to participate in the TikTok and Paramount collab with Scream. And it was a hide and scream experience. And you had to go through this house that was decorated like parts of Stu's house, parts of Casey's. There was Nev's bedroom where I got to do the whole epic, like, closet door, bedroom door, like, lock it out. And I, like, my inner child just, like, freaked out. I was like, oh my God. And they had, like, Sydney's book that she had wrote and, like, promoted in Scream, So as a Scream fan, like an OG Scream fan, getting to experience something like that. Kevin Williamson was afar. He was afar. I didn't get a chance to meet him, but I did get to meet, Anna Kemp, and she was amazing. And then, so that was in LA, and I got to do that. And then I came back home in Portland, and they've been doing like a Scream Sunday called an I Scream, and it has, it's with Tipsy Scoop, and it's boozy ice cream. And so they have, like, one's with vodka, one's with some rum, and I'm vegan, so that was like my big concern is like, how am I going to find something that is like both vegan? But they had me covered, and they actually use like Wild Roots spirits, which I happen to love, and so I got this like ice cream sundae with like Ghostface and everything for just an event for Scream 7, just marketing things, and yeah, it's been. So, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, just as a OG Scream fan, and this has been since I've been 7 years old, like, this franchise means so much to me. And, like, Ghostface is behind me and he's been behind me. Like, it's such a surreal experience. And the fact that we're getting a 7th one with Nev coming back and Kevin, and it's just feels good. It feels exciting for a Scream movie to be coming out.
No, that's totally awesome. So much cool stuff happens over on the West Coast.
Yeah.
We're very jealous, us East
I
Coasters.
know.
So that is really cool. Okay, without further ado, I guess we'll just talk about kind of Scream 7 and what kind of we're looking forward to. Before we do that, I guess we should probably set a foundation for maybe some newer listeners. Why don't we each go over our current rankings? Oriana, I know you've been kind of doing your rewatches, and you said maybe your rankings have shifted a little. Mine are pretty much the same. Longtime listeners will know I kind of flip-flop on a couple movies here and there, but mine are pretty solid. Anthony, I'm assuming yours are... I know you've amended yours like after Scream 6, but yours are pretty solid too by now. So, yeah, why don't we just go one by one? We'll talk about our rankings, and then we'll get into the coverage of the new film. I guess I'll go first. I'll kick us off here, just because I mess up a lot. I want to just get my letterbox just so I don't misspeak. Even though it's only 6 movies, you'd think I'd remember it. Okay, so mine, I guess we'll start from, do you want to start from worst to best? It doesn't really matter, but just quickly, my rankings are in 6th place is Scream 2, in 5th place is Scream 3, and then Scream 5, and then my top 3 is Scream 4, Scream 6, and the OG Scream is my favorite.
Right.
Okay. So we're starting from worst to least favorite.
Yeah, whatever
to
you prefer.
Yeah.
I mean,
most favorite one, because they're all favorites. Okay. I guess I will go. Okay, starting off, my least favorite is going to be 5. That used to be where 4 was, but it's moved up. Next up is 4, then 6, then 2, then 3, and then 1. So I used to go 1, 2, 3 as like my top 3, and then 2 and 3 ended up switching after my rewatch because I feel like I enjoy so much of the 3rd one. Like, it's just, there's so much I love about the 3rd one. I love the 2nd one, but I'm being nitpicky right now. So, and then, the 4th one, I didn't realize how brutal some of the scenes were in the 4th one, especially with Olivia's death. After rewatching that scene, I was like, oh, I don't give this movie enough credit. So that's why it ended up moving up. And I like what 6 was trying to do and doing something a bit different. So I still appreciate that one. So that's why it's still a little bit higher.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just a quick explanation of my top 3, just because you did yours. I have the original, I have Scream 6 and Scream 4. I think Scream is at its best when it is being, like, kind of pushing boundaries and kind of introducing new concepts. I like 1, 4, and 6 because they kind of do that. 6 is, people criticize the ending and the reveal. It's not the best reveal, but it's more about kind of the final girl trope and all that, I think was unique. So I feel like 1, 4, and 6 feel the most different of each other. And I like when Scream does that. So I hope we get that in Scream 7. I'm a little kind of hesitant, like they're not going to like make it different and it's going to feel too much like the originals, but I'm hoping I like it either way, obviously. But so that's kind of where I'm coming at. So like that's kind of why 2 is in my last place, because I feel like 2 just didn't really push it enough for me and differentiate itself from 1. So that's kind of where I'm at. If you guys, I mean, we covered the first 3 movies already, me and Anthony. You're actually coming on board, Oriana, just in time, because I know you have a lot of thoughts about Scream 4, so we'll eventually cover Scream 4 with you. I'm looking forward to that, but yeah. Okay, Ant, why don't you just quickly run down your rank?
Yeah, so this is my favorite franchise, so I love them all, so no hate to any of them. I love them all so much, but my number 6 is Scream 6. I think it's hand down the most sloppy and messiest of the franchise. I have a lot of problems with it, even though I love it, but it's hands down last place. And then a space, my number 5 is Scream 5. And then my number 4 is Scream 4. And then a big space, and my number 3 is Scream 3. My number 2 is Scream 1, and my number 1 is Scream 2. My top 3 are my top 3 because I think that's when Scream is at its best, when it's at the heightened emotions, and it's following the arc of Sidney Prescott in like a quick succession of, a 4-year time period. And I really think that it's almost like one big movie, the original trilogy. I look at it, it's like the Maureen Prescott Sidney trilogy, where Sidney is truly the lead. 4, we like think she's not the lead, and then we find out at the end, like, no, fuck you, don't fuck with the original, I am the lead. And then 5, they really don't use her to her value, and then 6, she's not even in it. So I think the original trilogy, because it's Wes doing what he does best and just creating these characters we all fall in love with. And I think the killers are the best in the OG trilogy. The twists are the best. I think Scream 2 is the scariest Scream movie. I think the set pieces are the best of the entire franchise. Scream 3 doesn't get enough credit for how creepy it is. You get that Nightmare on Elm Street throwback with some dream sequences. And, she's really going through it with the trauma in Scream 3. I think Scream 3 is my favorite finale of the whole franchise. And the OG is just the OG because it's perfect. It introduced us to all these characters. And Scream 2 is my favorite because Scream 2 is when I loved Sidney in Scream 1, but I fell in love with Sidney in Scream 2. I fell really in love with Gale in Scream 2. I fell in love with Dewey in Scream 2. I think Scream 2 is Gale's best movie, like, to this day. I think that my favorite moment in the entire franchise is when Sidney tells Mickey, you're forgetting one thing about Billy Loomis. I fucking killed him. I mean, that's when you find out she's the Linda Hamilton. She is the ultimate final girl. So I just think the original trilogy will still not be touched after Scream 7. I'm not going to be in La La Land about that, but if I can get a Scream 7 that's right behind Scream 3 in my ranking, I'm a happy camper. So, yeah, you can see a through line with mine is I go for the emotion and the character development more than the frantic, set piece, violent, flashy kills, because to me, Scream has always been about the characters before even Ghostface. Like, I go to these movies for Sidney Prescott before I go for Ghostface. So that's why my ranking is my ranking. And I can't wait, because our girl is back front and center. And I think this is honestly going to be the most screen time she's had in the entire franchise, even including the original. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, no, and I think I really enjoy when we cover this franchise because I think especially you and me, Anthony, Oriana, you're kind of newer with our coverage on Scream, but we look and we like things very differently about the franchise. So we're coming at it from different angles. You're very much like the OG kind of character arcs, character driven with Neve Campbell and Sidney. I'm not as much with that. I'm more about kind of the structure of the movie itself and kind of how it, like, what are you doing differently? So I like how we have that balance where we're kind of looking for different things. I think it makes some coverage and episodes. And Oriana, I feel like all three of us have pretty different rankings. I mean, Oriana's coming at it from a different angle too. So this is really fun. This is really cool. So, okay, Ant, why don't you kind of lead us here? What's the first topic you want to talk about with Scream 7? What do you want to dive into?
I want to know, so let's just obviously have to go to right away. Let's go to Stu because that's what everyone's talking about. I think it's very smart that they're taking a Spider-Man No Way Home approach and they're not showing Stu in the trailer, just teasing him. Like, you hear his voice and there's teasing. I think that if we saw anything of him, you would have fans like, oh my God, he is alive. Or like the other side, like, oh, like there must be something going on. The fact that they're like enticing us and like, you have to come to find out either way, because if someone sees it and they're like, oh, he's alive, they're going to go. And if it's not that, they're going to be super bummed and deflated that he's not in it for a majority of the movie. If he's only has 5 minutes of screen time, they're like, what the heck? I'm using the marketing. So I think that it's smart the way they're just like, come find out what happens. But I guess the question is, do you think Stu is dead or alive? I obviously think he's dead. I think that it's plot hole central if Gale Weathers didn't find out that Stu has been alive this whole time. She's a reporter. She's an investigative journalist. I don't understand how he could be alive. Like, after Scream 1, we would have found out at some point in the franchise that he's away somewhere or something. So I think it's kind of obvious that he's dead. And I mean, he got stabbed a bunch of times and has a TV on his head. So I think these dead characters are going to be used to fuck with Sidney and Gale to an extent. That's what I think their narrative is going to be in the movie. But I don't think Stu's alive. So I just hope fans are ready to just go into just take it all in. But if he is, I'm going to be in for a shock.
Yeah, I joke that Stu's alive, but I don't think Stu's alive at all. I think it's gonna definitely lean in a heavy AI manipulating the voices, just like Roman did in the third. And so I think that that's the storyline of kind of like how kind of bad AI is, because it's doing this to Sydney and ability. So yeah, I don't think he survived the TV.
Yeah, I think that's the meta aspect of the movie. It's going to be like the
Mhm.
meta. They're commenting on AI. That's what I think for sure.
Which Scream has always been like more meta. The fourth one is a very like meta, self-aware, live streaming kind of storyline. So that it just makes sense that this is what they're also going to be incorporating in this storyline. So,
All right, Nolan,
I
you want him
think
to be alive. Is he alive?
I mean,
Is he
it's
alive?
not that. It's not that, right? But this, I'm glad we started with this, because this is the biggest thing that makes me nervous for this film. You know, I agree with you, Ann. I think it was very smart marketing wise to not show him at all, not do a bait and switch if he is only in it for a couple minutes. I completely agree, because if he is just AI and he is just in like a couple scenes just to fuck with Sydney, people aren't going to feel as let down. They're not going to feel as disappointed, because they're not claiming that he is a main character in the film. I mean, they did announce him pretty early on before, I feel like it's been over a year since it was announced that he was in the film, maybe like a year ago. So they did that, but they really haven't promised anything. So I think that is smart. I'm worried because the way they've positioned the marketing and kind of, I've been hearing clips of Neve Campbell and Kevin Williamson, how it's coming full circle. You see the trailers, how it all comes full circle. Her daughter Tatum is now 18. It's all going to be connected to the original. I don't think Stu's alive. I don't think they have the cojones, if you will, to bring him back and make him fully alive. But I just worry that if he's not alive, I'm not gonna like the alternative. Like, I don't see a version of the ending of this film where I'm like completely satisfied, because it's like, I just don't know how else it could be. Is it like another secret person in Sydney's life that we don't know about? I mean, is it someone from a past movie that was a background character? Is it someone completely new? And then it's like, okay, is it Stu's family? I know there's been rumors that maybe it'll be like Stu's family getting revenge on him, but wouldn't like that either, because we've done the family trope so often in Scream. And this is kind of where I'm tackling it a little bit different than you guys in my expectations, is because I look for them to do things differently. Like, that would be different. Having Stu alive, a returning Ghostface would be a big swing. And I just don't think they're going to do it. I don't think it's a plot hole. Just because it's not mentioned in other movies doesn't mean they don't know about it. It could just not be mentioned. It could be, there's 100 ways they could explain it. I mean, we'd have to just trust the writers, but I genuinely don't think they're going to go there. And that's kind of the biggest thing that worries me. I don't really have, and I've thought about this for a few weeks, especially since the more recent trailers came out. I don't know what angle they can put on this movie to really like separate it from the other movies to where I would be satisfied, if that makes sense. Maybe you guys have some theories. We can get into theories now of maybe that'll kind of bring me around to the idea of it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think, you go first. You go first. I'll respond.
About my theory? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I honestly feel that Anna Camp is going to be Stu's sister, and she's going to have either been in a mental institution after Stu died and has been released and been plotting this entire time, and is going to use AI to kind of mimic the same thing that Roman did. But I can see what your meaning is. You're going to rehash the same stories that we have already told, and that's not going to really bring something new. Or I don't know. That's my strongest theory about what is potentially going to happen. But there's some others, but I don't know. I'm interested to see what Ant has to say.
I just think that we're really going to get back to the psychological effects that these 30 years of, because this is also a big deal because we're celebrating, much like Halloween 2018 was 40 years of Halloween. This is 30 years of Scream. I think this movie, they're bringing back some of these characters not only for part of the story, but we're celebrating Scream. We're celebrating 30 years of Scream, but I think they're really going to go after the psychological aspect because we do have Roman coming back. We do have Dewey coming back. I think a missed opportunity in 5 was Sydney getting a phone call after Dewey's death from Ghostface taunting her. I feel like we didn't deal even though Gail was great after she had the emotional part, and then 6, like, talked her on the phone a little bit, we didn't really deal with Dewey's death. I feel like Gail and Sydney didn't have a moment to even reflect. So I think that the psychological torment mixed with her daughter being in peril is really where these past characters are going to come handy. And as far as I do think, maybe Nolan might be happy, I think that the killers are going to be new. I don't think they're going to be related to Stu. I think it's just going to be someone new in Sydney's life. And I don't know what the motive is, but I don't think it's going to be a family thing, a familial thing again. I don't think it's going to be a revenge thing. We really just did Scream 6 just imitated Scream 2 with the revenge thing literally 3 years ago. So I don't think they're going to do that again. I think it's going to be some sort of new motive relationship to Sydney, but I don't think it's going to be familial. And I think that they're just using these past killers and past family, or, you know, Dewey is pretty much her brother, these characters who were so big a part of her life, whether they were killers or friends, just to torment her. Really, really torment her and get her under her skin, because honestly, people say like, oh, Sydney just says fuck that now, she doesn't care, but now she's going to be at her most vulnerable, and there's going to be stakes because she's never had to protect her family. So they're just going to use all of her trauma to just really fuck her up and put her on edge. So when it comes time to protect her family, she's going to be like, what the hell is going on? But I think that it's going to be just a whole new set of killers. I don't know the motive, but I don't think they're going to have any relationship to her, like familial at least, or Stu. I really just think that Stu's going to be really used some way to just taunt her.
What if Sydney isn't the target? What if Tatum is the target?
I think that Tatum is the target to get to Sydney.
Yeah, I mean,
Tatum is the new
much,
Sydney.
Yeah,
Tatum is the new
Okay.
Sydney.
yeah.
Tatum's the age that Sydney was when this all started. Much like I think that this has more in common, in my opinion, with H2O than 2018. Much like, you know, Josh Hartnett's character was Laurie's age when this first happened. So I feel like we're definitely going down the let's torment. So we waited till her daughter could be old enough so we could really fuck with her. And I do like how we're going back. I liked how like crazy and bombastic 6 was with the big city, but for some reason I like being contained. I like that we're not in Woodsboro, we're in a different city, but I like that we're contained, yet it still feels so epic. So I'm really excited for the location too.
Yeah, I mean, to Anthony's points, he doesn't think it's family. I'm not going to like it if it's a family trope again. Like Oriana, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
we've done it so many times. I don't want to see it again. We did it in 2. We did it in 3. We did it in 6. 3 of the 6 movies have been like family kind of motives. I don't want to see that again. And I'm hoping that you're correct, Anthony. But at the same time, I don't know if I'm going to love that either, because it's like, all right, we get someone completely new that's now targeting Sydney. It's like, I don't know, like we're on Scream 7 now. Like how many people are going after Sydney after all these years? Like it's going to be weird, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to wrap my head around it. As much as you say that there's plot holes if Stu lives, at least it would make sense in the theme of the movie that he's going to come back and get revenge on Sydney. I don't know if it's going to make sense to be like someone completely new. So, okay, I guess that leads into maybe our next topic then. What do you think is going to be the main motive now for the killers, Anthony? If you don't think it's family revenge, do you have any theories on, or you're just kind of going in open-minded? Like, do you have any theories on that?
I don't have a specific theory on the motive. Again, I'm just here for Sydney's journey. Again, like to me, the motives, I love the reveal and the motives, but again, I go to these movies to see how Sydney reacts to the motive, not for the motive itself. But I just simply to play devil's advocate, I feel like you can only do you can only do so much. Like it can only be so many things. Like it has to be a family, or it has to be someone she knows at least in the movie. So we can only go down so many different routes. So I feel like that's the formula. Like Brandy said, like very simple formula. Just like, you know, we have 13 Halloween movies with Michael Myers running around. Like we have all these Jason movies. So we go to the movies because we know what we love. We go to this franchise for that. So I think that Scream gets an edge because it is Ghostface. It is the Michael Myers Ghostface until the mask comes off, and it is someone different in every movie. So I think that's where it gets its edge, but it can only be so many different scenarios. So I agree. I don't think it should be a family member again. It's going to have to be some sort of trope or something that, you know, maybe we haven't seen, but it's going to have to be something a little bit familiar that makes sense because you can only do so much. You know what I mean?
I agree. I get that. And I didn't even mention Scream 4 was family too. So 4 out of 6 movies. Scream 4 and Scream 6 are 2 of my favorites, right? And and it's the familiar thing. So I get that there's only so much you can do, but the fact that it looks so tonally the same as like the first movie and maybe the first trilogy, I'm worried that it's going to look and feel so much like those, and they're going to do something that's familiar with the reveal as well. It's going to be too, like, if you're going to do the throwback feel and lean into Sydney and her trauma again and really celebrate Scream and its origins, that's great, but I kind of want something different with that. So I feel like it's just going to be like too much of the same. Does that make sense? Because like 4 and 6, yeah, they have those tropes because there's only so much you can do, but they feel so different, and that's kind of what I'm looking for, and I don't think I'm going to get, and that's why I'm like, well, if you're not going to give me that with the look and the feel, give me a returning Ghostface, give me a Stu Macher, like, let's just go full camp, let's lean into it, and let's go balls to the wall with it. So I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you never had a killer who used past killers to get their job done, so that's a little different already. We already know, obviously, that's going to happen. Now,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but again, to me, I come at it for like, I like to see how Sydney reacts, but I guess the next question is, do you think that there's any other past Ghostface killers or characters that are dead that haven't been announced that are going to be in the movie?
Well, well, can you refresh me on like who has been announced?
Yeah,
okay.
So the announced Matthew Lillard, Stu's back.
Okay.
Roman Bridger is back.
Okay.
Scott Foley. Skeet says he's not in it, but I don't believe him. But maybe he's not. I believe it because he was in 5 and 6, and I am kind of done with that. I'm kind of done with the Billy Loomis of it all. So it's Scott Foley, Matthew Lillard, and David Arquette are the only dead characters who have been announced.
They've been.
Do you think anyone else is coming back?
I thought I heard a rumor about Emma Roberts, but I could be mistaken.
So do you think she hasn't been announced, but do you think she might pop up? I mean, if her brother's going to be in it, do you think Emma Roberts might be in it? If Jill Roberts?
Well, I think if we all agree that, and I don't know if we all agree, but if we're saying that they're going the AI route and they're going to be using these dead killers' voices, I mean, I think the sky's the limit, right? I don't even think
I would agree that
they could do any voice, yeah.
But do you have one you want to see, or one you think like would anyone
Mickey?
else like?
I want to see Mickey.
That's mine too. I want to see Mickey Taunter look, because
if
he
it's
really
just
did
the voice. You know how I feel about the voice changer in Scream 3. I wasn't a fan. Like, if it's just the voice, I don't really have a strong opinion on it. I mean, it'd be kind of like a cool little haha, like that's Emma Roberts' voice. She lent it her voice for a cameo, but I don't really.
I think the only one like you can get away with Emma Roberts without being too cheesy because she literally does look the same. Like, she doesn't look any different, but
the voice. Do you think there'll be visuals with the voice, like with the AI? Like, do you think there'll be like video messages or something? Like, where do you think they're going to help? Yeah.
I think because Matthew Lillard's like been really hyped, I think he will be the one that you see. I don't know about David Arquette or Scott Foley being like visually seen, but they will be used.
So he will be the face of the movie in terms of like who the Ghostface is, where like they're using Stu's likeness to like fuck with Sydney. That's what you think? Like they're going to try to make Sydney think that Stu is alive and tormenting her?
Yeah, because I do, because I think they're obviously, we can talk about the opening scene, but Stu's house has been such a staple of the franchise. It was used in 1. It was referred to. It was on the stab set in Scream 3. It was literally Amber's house in Scream 5. So I think that's why whoever is the killer is using it. Like, we're burning it all down. We're burning down where it started. We're burning down where all your friends were killed. And that's where I think the Stu of it comes in. That's why he's such a hyped up killer through these new killers' eyes. So I think that's why he's really being used. I, for some reason, think he's going to be the only one, unless there's a surprise cameo, who we actually see. That's why I think Matthew Lillard's being hyped up to be more of a lead, not a lead, but more prominent than, let's say, David Arquette or Scott Foley.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I think it's a Stu sister situation, because who's going to care enough to avenge Stu more than someone who loves Stu, or a past lover? Because Stu could have had many lovers.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think they're definitely going to do the Stu long lost niece or something trope. Yeah, I think it. I mean, I'm not too familiar with Anna Camp. I mean, I know McKenna Grace is in the film. People have been floating her name around. Do you guys think there'll be multiple? Do you think it'll be a solo killer this time, or multiple again? Yeah,
I'm thinking we have said for you, if you watch our prediction episode for 6, I said I'm like I want 3 killers, and then like when it happened in 6, I'm like this is too messy.
Yeah.
So I kind
I
of
asked
just
for too
hope
much.
I hope we go back. I think we're gonna have 2 killers. I don't think we're gonna have just one.
Yeah, I think
I think
Okay.
we're gonna have 2, but I kind of want some again. I mean, this movie's gonna do great. I don't want something to be not revealed, but I want there to be something left open ended if we're gonna go into an 8. I'm not saying that we have to not reveal a ghost. So maybe like something open ended, like that we're gonna leave that for Scream 8. But I think there's gonna be 2 killers, and I hope also that we're not I don't want it to be someone in Tatum's friend group. I want it to be someone more on Sydney's level, so that
Yeah.
narrows it down maybe a little. I kind of am over the teen trope of the killers. We just did. I mean, Richie and I guess Richie was an adult and Sam's boyfriend, but I want someone more on the level of Sydney and Gail's age. Let's just see someone more adult to take over.
Well, funny you say that because talking about motives, who has a better motive than Gail Weathers? We wanna
God,
bring that
no,
up. I
I
mean,
don't.
Gail Weathers
It
as
is
Ghostface.
fascinating.
That would be
30
that
years.
would be
She's been
that would
plotting
be
this
a
for
reason
30
to bring
years.
Dewey into it. If she's using Dewey's voice,
That
she
would be
blames Sydney for Dewey dying. I don't know. She's had such
Sydney
a rocky
punched her.
character growth. She
So
could
pissed.
just plummet. I don't know.
She never got over the bangs.
I wouldn't hate it. It would be a swing. It would be a big swing.
Oh.
I know Anthony
Oh.
would
Not for me.
absolutely hate it. I know.
It would be like character assassination for all that Gail has involved.
But they have such a bond now. They have really such a.
Do they
but
though?
I
Oh.
do. I think.
I feel like Dewey and
Don't
Sydney
do
really
this
had
to
the
me. I
bond
don't
more
know.
than
Well,
her
that's
and
why
Gail.
Dewey was killed because he
Yeah.
meant the most to both of them. But I
Yeah.
think they have evolved over the 30 years. And just to Nolan's point, I will say the only way I would, again, it's not, I don't want it. Like, it would be, to me, like the word, like those are my 2 final girls. But the only way that motive would work is to be, again, I'll just give Scream 6 was messing me, but the line in Scream 6 that, without Ghostface, who are you? Like to Gail Weathers, that Tara says, again,
Yeah.
it wasn't handled right, but
Yeah.
that's the only way I could see Gail being a killer, as let's keep these killings prominent. Let's bring the final girl back who made my life, who really went at odds with me. Let's bring her in some peril, and let me bring that. But I don't want it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think it'd be badass if they took a swing like that. Me personally, and the biggest critique I had of Dewey dying was it kind of leaves Gail in limbo. I know her and Sydney have had their connection, but it's not as strong as Sydney and Dewey, and that's kind of where I was like, Gail in Scream 6. I know a lot of people don't love her in 6. Like as a whole, Anthony, you critique Scream 6 because they just use Gail almost as a prop. I think you said. I love her in 6 because it's like they gave her a chase scene. She finally got her phone call. I thought that was enough because I really don't know if you could do a lot with Gail without Dewey. I don't.
You can't.
I feel like she doesn't have a lot to do. So to bring her back into the fold and have her be Ghostface would be monumental. I mean, talk about the talk of the town. I mean, that would really cement Kevin Williamson as a director of this franchise, really taking a swing. I don't think they're going to do it again. I do think they're going to play it safe. I do agree with Oriana. They're going to do a Stu Macher family relation. But it's unfortunate because I do like when franchises, especially horror franchises that are this far along, we're talking about 30 years of Scream. I like when they try to keep pushing boundaries. That's why I like the 28 years later movies so much. So yeah, I mean, I had to throw it out there. I knew Anthony, you'd have a strong reaction to it. Oriana, what are you thinking? I know you want to talk. I see you.
Oh no, I was like, the only way this revenge Gail thing could work is if like she was from the get, like she and Roman from the get plotted this, and she has been plotting this
geez.
entire time.
Now we're going. Yeah, that I don't know if I would love that. Actually, that's going too far.
I think no, it's not. It can't happen, guys.
No.
We can't jump the
No,
shark.
because then that ruins the OG for me. Because then
We
that's
can't
like,
jump the shark.
Yeah,
We can't jump the
Yeah.
shark. I think that the different thing in this one would be that because we have, like Nolan said, like I think that's what's great about Scream is that Sydney and Gail have always been at odds, but they slowly
yeah.
creep together. Where like they literally embrace in 5 and like hug over Dewey. That's why I think I've always said it's Sydney, Gail, then Dewey. Even though I love Dewey so much, is because to me, Gail and Sydney have been the co-leads since Scream 2. So I think Gail is just as important as Sydney, and she's the only one in every movie. 6 to me messed up because I feel like she reverted back to her OG Gail just because they wanted to do a throwback to that, but they handled it really weird. and everything about her phone call I liked. I liked her whole chase sequence. The stuff before that, I'm like, it's a knockoff Gale from Scream 1. But I think in Scream 7, we're going to really actually finally see them two come together and investigate this killer and finally be like sisters and come together and do it together versus being like,
I don't know, because they had the one scene in the trailer, right, where they're kind of at odds. Like
which I love. We're finally giving an interview. We get Gale Weathers interviewing Sidney. So I think Gale's going to do her Gale thing in the interview, but then after that, can be like, come on, we're sisters now. Let's do it. So I think that to me is the emotional aspect of the movie. I want to see Gale and Sidney as sisters. I know people might be upset about this, but I don't think Gale is going to have a big ghost face set piece because she just literally almost died in 6. So I think that she's going to just be the investigative part, and it's going to be really Sidney and Tatum going through it with Ghostface. I think Gale's just going to really be there to assist Sidney. And I think that makes sense because she literally just got stabbed, 3 times.
I'm not so sure because the tone of the trailers makes it seem like this killer very much cares about 18 years ago and that night, or I don't know if it was 18 years ago, 30 years ago, and that original night. And kind of, it seems like she's blaming Sidney for the events, and they've been waiting this whole time. So if that's the case, then they're probably going to target Gale too, and they're probably going to blame Gale for the events of that night as well. So I don't know. I'm proud of you, Ant. You didn't completely flip out when I mentioned that it was Ghostface. You didn't turn your webcam off. So kudos to you for having a little bit of an open mind.
Yeah, I don't want it to happen, but that's the only way I would do it if she needs to stay in the spotlight.
So you're a little bit more open to that than Stu. Because Stu, you're like a hard line, right? Like you do not.
I'm not open to even, but to me, plot hole wise, I would accept the Gale thing more than Stu because there's no way Stu can be alive.
Okay.
Unless Anna Camp is still his sister and she helped switch a body with his body underneath the TV because he was very injured, and then they took him and the family secretly hid him away.
Oh God.
I don't know.
We can't be too this is why I love Scream, because
if they're gonna do it that way, we need a prologue where that just happens and we get it out of the way, and then we can do the movie and we know he's alive.
No. I love
so Oriana, you mentioned that you think that she is in the asylum in the padded room or whatever in the trailer. Ant, what are your thoughts on that whole sequence?
I don't think it's Anna Camp in the asylum, but I do think, I guess it's kind of like I think it's a new character in the asylum.
Yeah.
But I do think Anna Camp's a killer. I mean, I've seen her, she does camp and she does, I saw her in You. She played dual role and she was great. Yeah. I love her I actually got introduced to her in True Blood. I thought she was great. I know people like her in the Pitch Perfect movies, but in True Blood.
Who was she in You? I'm not too familiar with Anna Camp.
She was in the last season, and
I didn't
she's
watch
a dual.
Season. Okay, never mind.
She's in 2. She plays twin sisters, and she camps it the hell up, and she does she does a Ghostface good.
Gotcha.
She does a reveal. So, and again, I don't think to me, it's not a bummer if people it's Anna Camp, because it's how and why and how does Sidney react? It's they cast certain people because they'd be good at Ghostface. So I would put money on Anna Camp being a killer if I had to.
Okay, just based on her previous work,
casting,
why would you have her in there and not utilize
and the exclusion of her and really much marketing. But I don't think she's a solo killer, and I don't think she's in the asylum. I think it's a new character that we haven't seen any promotion in the asylum.
Do you think we'll get 2 female killers for the first time? That's never happened, right? Two females working.
It's never happened.
Yeah, I'd be so down for that.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. I think
I wouldn't be opposed to it either.
Do you think that it'd be one adult and one who's close with Sidney and one who's close with Tatum, maybe? One of each?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just going off the Stu family theory, I think one adult who's familiar with the events kind of could have brought up the younger one, kind of indoctrinating them into those beliefs and saying these are our enemies and get close to her daughter. And so I think it could be one from the friend group and then one from an older group that's more maybe connected to Sidney. But I don't know, because again, I don't love the idea of now there's more characters from the original that we never heard of that knew Sidney, that went to her high school and know.
I don't think that's going to be a thing. I think we did that. Been there, done that. I don't think we're going to do that. I literally think it's going to be new. What about, so we have 2 members. I know, sensitive topic, but we have 2 members from the core 4 returning. I do think that, 6 was a good ending for Sam and Tara, but we have I think Mindy and Chad, who I really have criticized, especially Mindy, because I think 5 and 6 she felt like someone who was written and not a real character. It wasn't Jasmine Savoy Brown's. I think it was all the writing issue for me in 5 and 6. But I think now that Kevin Williamson's writing, I think I'm so amped for them to be in it, and I think that people are like, why are they even in it? Because they have a connection with Sydney because they're related to Randy. So I think it does make sense that
Yeah,
they're
it does.
in
I think they're open and kill material for sure.
Really? So that's
I think
so.
we're gonna get double open and kill. Yeah.
Do you think? So you think they're gonna die?
I think so. That's my prediction. Yeah, they're both gonna
Oh.
die in the opening.
I think if anything, one of them are gonna die. And if let's just say Sydney, Gale,
Maybe Chad.
Chad, and Mindy do survive, I do not need any of them to get stabbed 18,000 times and then live. Just let them have a good set piece and not get stabbed if they don't.
I think they're
If
going to
you're not
die because I
go.
think they want to distance themselves and move on from the last two movies. I think that's just going to be their way of closing that chapter in the opening scene, and now we can move forward with Sydney.
Or are they going to be the legacy from the spinoff 5 and 6 that live on?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
can
I
go
mean,
either
are they
way,
Ghostface?
Right.
They could be Ghostfaced. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think I've been under the impression that they're going to be the opening kill. If I don't see them in the opening scene, I'm going to be surprised at this point. Now, I don't have any
Ooh.
basis for that.
Ooh, I like that.
That's just kind of what I've kind of
I kinda like
interpreted
that.
their return for.
I think if anything, one of them are going to die. If either neither of them or one of them are going to die.
Mm. You don't think both of them? I think it'd be
I
cool
don't think
if both
both
of
of
them went at the same time.
I would. I mean, not to say like, I feel like kill the core 4, but I'm like it would be. I think it would show because again, my issue with 6 was everyone had a death scene, but nobody died. That was my issue with 6. So I think
it could
it'd
be a
cool.
statement like we're not fucking around this movie.
Right.
Like people are gonna die. Yeah.
Do you think Gale will die
No,
or Sydney?
no.
So it's
Sydney's
funny
not
you
dying.
say that. I mean, Sydney, no, absolutely. I mean, that's not even really.
It would ruin the
Especially because they're already.
It would ruin
rumored
the
to
final
be
girls.
greenlighting the next movie. I mean, that's not going to happen. Gale is an interesting one though because I said after the last one, after 6, it goes back to my thoughts on Dewey dying. Like, it just makes sense for Gale to die. I thought Gale should have died instead of Dewey, and we've talked about this in our previous coverage. So I'm a believer in that. But now that Dewey's dead, I think Gale is very vulnerable. I don't think she has as much plot armor. She doesn't have as much connection. I mean, she does with Sydney, but it's very rocky. And I think they could write it in a way to where things maybe aren't great again, and they don't have this kumbaya moment that you're maybe hoping for, and they don't come together. And Gale, maybe towards the end of the film, like, it's been rocky the whole film, and she decides to actually do the right thing for once, and that gets her killed. Like, I could definitely see that for sure.
Yeah, the only way I'm not okay with Gale dying because she's my other favorite, but like the only way that it would be emotional enough to work for me is if she went out, like Nolan said, either saving Sydney or saving one of Sydney's daughters. Like
She
she's
has
coming,
to.
she's doing that.
I do
Yeah,
not like the way they
Tatum.
handled Dewey's death. I think that he died for no
Still
reason. He didn't really save anyone. So I really
well, he
hope
saved
if they
Tara.
kind of, but they were going to get out anyway. He
Yeah,
like
I
went
agree.
back.
I mean-
he went back to like try to finish the job, right? So,
I always said that he deserved to make it to the Mocker house and
I agree, yeah.
save Sydney. I know
Yeah.
people say save Gale, but I think because Sydney was his sister, he should have saved Sydney and died at the end. That's my whole. We can do a whole episode on that if we want to, but I think that Gale
and we
will live.
coming up.
Yeah, I think Gale will. Yeah, we will. I think Gale's going to live, but I think that for someone who has been with the character for my whole life, if
I
she were to
know,
go out, it would have to be doing.
and have to
saving
make
Sydney.
it count. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you,
Yeah.
Ori? What do you think about Gale?
It would be sad to lose Gale, but
Of
I
course,
also lost
yeah.
Dewey, and that was emotional too. But I
Yeah.
think if we're gonna rehash things and revisit 30 years ago, I'm gonna need someone from one of those to die in order for me to be kind of like, whoa, you really took it there, and feel like they didn't play it safe. Because, if we're gonna, there's only so much we can do with like going back after Sydney. And if we're not going to lose Sydney, then we're going to have to lose Gale, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Just one of them, just to throw us
Interesting.
for a loop,
Interesting.
just to show that like Scream still has it. That they're,
yeah,
Yeah.
like there's still stakes. Yeah,
We
I mean,
killed Randy.
it's fair.
in,
I mean, we killed
in
Randy.
the second.
There was a couple movies in between. We killed Dewey. I could see it. I could definitely see it. I would love if they killed Tatum, and then Scream 8, we get full on Sydney
killed
Ghostface.
her daughter. Oh my god.
Sydney Ghostface. She goes on a fucking killing spree. She's like,
Oh God,
"Fuck y'all! You killed my family. Now I'm going after everyone."
So revenge
think-
is good, actually.
Yeah,
if anything, the biggest death will be Mark, her husband, and then the three of them.
yeah. He's
in
a
8.
goner.
And
He's a
the
goner.
three of them in
Oh.
8 will be like, "Yo,
It's not
like,
even Mark anyways.
where are the three?"
Yeah.
Maybe, and then maybe Patrick Dempsey will
Fake
come back in
Mark.
8. Who knows? But I think the three of them will be the girls of 8 together, and Mark will be the sad death.
That
I
was
think,
another theory I had. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. I think I saw the final trailer that was released today, and dude, Joel McHale, he has I think he's going to put up a fight with Ghostface in that sequence.
Well, I
Like
didn't
no,
see that. There's an
it looks
I didn't- yeah, I
awesome.
haven't seen it.
Don't just wait till the movie at this point.
Yeah,
but-
I know, right?
It looks friggin' awesome, the fight that he puts up to protect Sydney and Tatum. So I'm really stoked to see him. But I do think that he's going to be the big emotional, like Sydney's husband and Tatum's dad are going to be taken away.
See, I kind of want him to be a piece of shit. I think again it will tie into like the themes. I want him to be like maybe like cheating on Sydney, and like,
or do
he's
you
the
want him
opening
to be
kill.
like
he's the,
the
opening
Billy
kill and
where she can't? Oh, the opening kill.
opening kill
Oh!
where he's cheating on Sydney, and then you think maybe like,
Oh,
this is
That's who
someone
Ghostface
trying
is, the
to
mistress.
like get rid of Sydney's. Yeah, like is it the mystery? Yeah, so I think that could be a cool angle. I've thought about that as well. Is he the opening kill? And that's what kind of brings it full circle, where it's like, all right, this Ghostface is targeting my family, has already killed my husband. Like the stakes are high. Like my daughter is really in danger. I think that could also be a great way to kind of kick things off.
interesting.
He
I
has
think
the
they're
acting
burning
chops
down-
too to make it a memorable
So good.
opening kill. You know, to rival
been in
like
horror
Jason Becker,
before.
you know, yeah.
Yeah.
He's been in Deliver Us from Evil. People don't give him enough chops, but I do think that I like that idea, but I think we're gonna fall in love with him for him to be taken away.
Yeah.
Like,
so you do think he's
towards-
gone too?
I do, and
Yeah.
I know I'm like Sydney's my favorite character. I'm like more torment so we can like have her.
He's
keep
got to be
being
gone.
this.
Justice,
Or trauma.
yeah.
yeah.
So I do
Justice
think
for Mark
he's gone.
Kincaid. So he's got to go.
Yeah, I think that it's gonna be a badass finale with Tatum and Sydney be like, "You fucking killed my dad and my husband. Like, let's fucking go."
Yeah. Okay.
Do you think we're burning down Stu's house in the opening act? Because I think that, yeah.
Yes. I think he's.
I think that's how
I
it
do
hope so.
think.
I hope so.
Just be done with
I'm ready
that.
to
Let's
move on.
burn it. He's
Yeah.
ready to burn it all down.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think. So I think the opening scene is that like from the first trailer. I do think that's the opening scene. I don't think we've seen all of it that they've shown. I think it's gonna be a pretty epic opening, but I do think they're gonna burn
Yeah.
down Stu's in the opening to play with the whole stew of it all too.
I'm so excited. I'm
It's-
like, what opening
it's coming.
scene can they do? That's like, that's the bread.
I could see
That's
them
the
doing
bread and
completely
butter.
new characters where it's like kind of the Halloween resurrection where like these characters like, oh, let's go to Stu's house and like have a
Yeah,
sleepover.
I
Stu-
did.
and then
I love that,
Ghostface
actually.
like Ghostface kills him and burns the house down, and that's where we kick off Scream. Like that could be kind of cool.
I love
So,
that.
Yeah.
Like let's go to the Mocker house. and
Yeah,
then
let's
they
go
get
to the
killed.
infamous Mocker house. It's like for
gonna be
sale.
fun.
It's empty, and they go and they kind of explore the house, and then Ghostface is there and just kills them all, and that's where kind of Ghostface is residing. That'd be kind of cool, and then he burns it down. That'd be
It's
cool
just
in the opening.
It's so exciting because no matter what like we want or what we think, it's just gonna be a fun movie, and I can't wait. I'm excited
be-
because I do think that this looks like some of my critiques are like the violent kills in 5 or 6 were cool, but I've been missing the suspense in the chase scenes, and I think Kevin Williamson, who is known for writing iconic chase scenes, he's gonna give us a chase scene or two in this one. We're gonna feel the suspense before the kills, and I can't
Okay.
wait. I can't
Yeah, I think Scream 6 did that well too. You downplay Scream 6, but I think that
No, I
kind of
think that
returned-
Gale's was a good chase scene, but it was more
the
action.
ladder
because
scene.
I
I
want.
mean, I know that's
That was fun.
critiques.
Yeah, that's fun.
yeah.
That was
I think
fun.
5
want,
for sure. 5 definitely lacks
Yeah.
the suspense. I'll agree with you.
Yeah,
There.
Yeah.
I really need the suspense, and like I want a Helen Shivers chase scene.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
I want an epic long chase scene in this movie.
Yeah. We don't want to rehash. We don't want a repeat of that requel from last year, though. Let's.
Please no.
Yeah.
Let's.
Okay,
not remember
great.
that
Anything
mess.
else you wanted to cover, guys? Anything?
Do you guys think this is going to beat Scream 6's opening weekend at the box office.
You're gonna have to give me some numbers. I mean,
Okay.
what are we looking at here?
So Scream 6 did, I think, 44 million domestic and like 67 worldwide.
Oof,
the
those are
opening
good numbers.
weekend.
44 and 67.
It's the highest grossing opening weekend of the franchise. The
Yes,
highest
I knew
grossing
that.
Scream movies are still Scream 1 and 2 worldwide. They're like, 170 something, and Scream 6 is like 169 or something like that. So those are like the top 3 Scream movies: Scream 1, Scream 2, and Scream 6,
Okay.
box office wise. I think this is gonna blow it out of the water.
Didn't they sell like $30 million in tickets already?
No, it didn't do
Pre-sale?
30. I think that's the projections that they were doing
Oh.
before tickets went on sale, and now it's like pre-selling like crazy.
I don't know. That's tough. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say it goes in right under there. I'm gonna say maybe like 90 to 100. Maybe if it reaches
For
100
total?
for
Okay.
total. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know because that's tough.
I'm thinking this is doing like,
You think it's gonna break?
I'm
records?
thinking minimum like Final Destination Bloodlines numbers, like 50 million opening weekend minimum. But I'm gonna say I think it does 60 million domestic opening weekend. Like I
This
think
would
it's in a,
if that's right. I mean, this is going to be the first movie of the year that really
yeah.
Especially
I
so
also
far.
think
it's been
'cause
such a slow start to the
I
year.
thought like Wuthering Heights was going to be like the event, and it did really well. But like we haven't had a big
know.
movie yet, so I think that
This is
this
gonna
is
kick it off.
positioned really well
yeah,
to like
It
pop
could.
off.
I don't know. I think it's going to do well. I don't think it's going to do that
Yeah.
well though. I think it's going to be 90 to 100. That's my prediction.
Total, okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking opening weekend it goes 60 million domestic, and I think it's going to do great. People are going to be shut up online, and I can't wait.
I think like anywhere between like 50 and 80 is probably for the opening weekend. With
Okay.
probably, I don't know. It just
Total.
my biggest thing, yeah, for the like
okay,
total
so you're a
of the
little bit
weekend.
lower.
But
Okay.
I don't know because I thought the pre-sale tickets were a little bit higher. So if the pre-sale tickets, I thought,
I mean, for my look, I'm going to see it in Dolby, and the fan event sold out. Dolby, and they had
the
they
fan
had
events
to
are
add,
always going to
Yeah.
do really
and
well.
they had to add like extra show
Yeah.
times for Thursday night previews, and they're like booking, and that's just not even in the city; it's here.
I mean, I
I'm
think
going-
that's a given, especially for Thursday. It's going to be sold out everywhere. It's more about how it has legs over the weekend.
Yeah, I think you're gonna.
Like
think
I
it's
got
gonna be-
tickets for Sunday, and I got them a couple. There was still a decent amount of seats left, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to do well. I don't think it's going to do
Yeah.
that well, though. Like,
Do you
you're
think it's
saying.
going to beat Scream 6's opening weekend?
No,
Okay, I
like
think it will.
domestically.
Yeah,
maybe
It's going
domestic.
to do more than 44 million opening weekend.
yeah, I think it will do
Maybe.
more than 44.
Maybe.
I'm going 60, baby. I'm going 60. I'm going crazy.
But
That's
if it
tough.
does, maybe just barely.
Yeah, I'm kind of
'Cause
with
a-
you. I think it's going to be very close.
The hype for
I was
for the
thinking
sixth
35 to
one
40,
was
maybe.
a lot. There was
Yeah,
like
I mean, no
big,
matter what,
like-
it's crazy that a 7th movie is making, like, we're doing good. We're doing good no matter what, but I'm excited.
Ugh.
Do
I
you
know,
guys want to,
rewatching
before we
them.
log off, do you want a cliffhanger or do you want to, like be done with every other movie? Do you want, like, a cohesive, concrete ending?
I mean, we'd never really had cliffhangers before. have
That's what
we?
I'm saying. Do you, no, that's what, but you want
Yeah.
some, do you want that or you just want it to be a contained, I do like the contained aspect of it because sometimes I
Yeah.
feel like it's episodic when you do a cliffhanger.
That's a good point. I never really. I'm kind of just thinking that for the first time in the moment because that's not really what Scream is. But I can see them doing it this time around
Mhm.
and kind of launching
Yeah.
a new trilogy, like with Kevin Williamson and Nev Campbell, because they're already talking about the Scream 8. There's rumors that that's in the works already and it's going to get greenlit. So I could maybe see a maybe not a cliffhanger, but like them leaving the door open for a next chapter for sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
That's an interesting question.
Well,
Maybe
couple more
it'll-
days.
Maybe it could be something that is like could be a standalone, but no, that would. Still
If you're
be
asking me what I
open-ended.
want, I don't. Because again, I like gaps, right? I like gaps between, especially these movies. I don't want to see another movie a year and a half from now. I want them to kind of let a new meta take hold in the genre and comment on that in like maybe 4 or 5 years. So I want a gap. I don't think we're going to get a gap, especially if it kills it. I think they're just going to keep pumping them out because that's showbiz, baby, right? But so living in the real world, knowing that that's probably going to happen, I wouldn't be, I guess, opposed to maybe a little cliffhanger.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, maybe
It
not a
would be
cliffhanger,
different.
but something open ended. I feel like something
Yeah.
left unresolved.
The way 6
As
was
long as Sydney's
open-ended.
alive, it's open ended, right? I mean, it's like
That's what I'm saying.
it's
She's,
one of those,
she's
like,
the face.
the only finality we're gonna get is if she finally dies, and that's not gonna happen.
No.
So.
I just love that, like, we're seeing the face of the franchise back front and center. But yeah,
I
we'll have a
almost
lot.
want, like, now that we're discussing, I almost want like everyone to die. Gail dies,
Everyone.
Tatum dies, her husband dies. Reset the board, where it's
That's
just
actually
Sydney,
good.
just on her own at the end of this film, and that leaves the door open to her just being like a rogue survivor
Yeah.
for the next film. That could be a cool angle because now she has so many people that she cares about. Dewey's dead, obviously, but she has her family. So, like, if you reset the board and you kind of start from the ground up for the next movie, that could be a cool angle as well. I don't think, again, they're going to do it, but I would love to see that.
I don't think everyone's gonna die, but I think that maybe all of Tatum's friends might die, so she's left alone in 8. I think that would be interesting that she literally lost everyone for one whatever couple day span because of what happened to her mom. So that could be an interesting dynamic for them in 8, that she lost all of her people because of her mom.
You guys want to see Kirby?
I do, but I think that again, my critique of 6, even though Cindy wasn't in it, I felt like it was too much. I think they might be saving Kirby for 8, but it'd be nice for a little, maybe she pops up at the end. I don't know. I think save her for 8.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it to just give her like a little quick, maybe just save her.
I just
Yeah,
really
there's too
want
much
to
going
see
on.
like more OG, like more people from Sydney's past. I think this is going to be a big kind of like run down memory lane, I think, for us OG Scream fans.
Yeah.
So I think that, I don't know.
I do want to
Going
see
in-
Sydney and Kirby again together one day because I loved their sequence in 4 together. I love how they interacted in that sequence, but not in 7. I don't think
Yeah.
she's going to be in 7.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, that I think pretty much covers it. You guys have anything else you wanted to
I'm just
bring
so
up
excited.
before the much anticipated
I'm
release?
so excited. This is
Yeah.
my baby.
I know.
And I'm so excited.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
so
So final thoughts, like where do you hope and where do you think this is possibly going to land in your rankings? And you kind of touched on it. You hope it's right behind the OG trilogy.
The prediction that I hope for is 2, because nothing's touching the OG trilogy. I know that. My prediction, and I hope it's 213, 7456. I feel like maybe realistically it could be 213, 4756, but I think if it really gets right behind 3, then I'm a friggin' happy camper with Scream 7.
Okay. I'm been in the same boat as you, Ant, in terms of like where it's positioned in my ranking. I think if it's right behind my top 3, I think that would be a really solid film because I do think that my top 3 and my bottom 3, there is a gap. So if that could fill the gap for me and so I have the OG Scream 6, Scream 4, if it could get positioned right behind Scream 4, I think that's maybe best case scenario. If it cracks my top 3, then I will be like very pleasantly surprised. I don't know if it will, but I think there's room there right in the middle of my rankings for it to slot in because there is a gap there for me. So I think that's maybe my prediction. I'm worried. I said in the beginning of this episode, I am worried about this film. I'm worried that it's not going to be in the middle and it's going to be towards the bottom and it's going to be maybe not last place. I don't think it's going to touch last place, but maybe more in line with Scream 2 and 3 for me, where it's not like I don't know. I hope it's at least better than 5. Because 5 is such a middling, like, had a lot of potential. I didn't like the ending. I just feel very meh about 5. So if it could beat out 5, I think I'd be happy.
I think you'll be in good hands with that.
Same. I mean, if it could be 4, if it could be 6, how I feel about 6, I feel like it's in a good spot. I would be thoroughly impressed if it beat out either 2 or 3, because then that means it did something so correct. But the first 3 for me have always been untouchable, and I don't know. I don't know if they could.
We're
make
gonna
a
find
film
out.
That
We're
would
gonna
beat
find
that.
out.
But
It's
we're
almost
gonna
like
see.
this movie has to be leagues better than 2 and 3 for you guys, and 1 and 2 and 3, because you guys have so much nostalgia and you connect so much with
it's
those
just like our
movies
whole
that-
childhood. It's not happening,
it's
but like
it's such a monumental.
if it can stand right alongside them, right below them, I'm so happy. I mean, we're
Yeah,
getting a
that's
movie
fair.
with Kevin Williamson, Nev Campbell. I'm
That's
going to be happy.
No reservations about him directing. He's directed one movie, but You're not really nervous?
I think because he literally, I mean, again, I love Wes Craven. He should get all the credit, but Kevin Williamson created it. He wrote it, and he's really learned from Wes for these movies, and he's been involved with genre work, I think, over the years. And I honestly, I even liked Teaching Missing Team. I thought it was a fun throwaway movie, and the studio really meddled with that. So I wouldn't really base anything off that, his one directorial effort. I think that him and Neb really collaborated on this, and I have all the faith in him. I mean, so far, he's doing everything right for me.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope you all enjoy your viewing of Scream 7 this weekend. We will, I'm sure, touch base with this franchise very soon. We have some cool episodes coming up. I know we had already announced previously that we're going to be covering Ready or Not. We're going to be doing a review of the first Ready or Not. That's coming out soon, the second one, next month. So look for that in March. We're going to be doing that episode right before Ready or Not 2. And yeah, if you guys didn't listen to last week's episode, Anthony and Oriana interviewed Tom Newell. Newell, right? That's his last name, Tom Newell. Thank you guys for picking up the slack there. I couldn't make that episode, but I thought it was a really well done episode. So go check that out. He was a Ghostface in Scream 6. He played Greg Bruckner, and he has done a lot of work in the genre. He's done a lot of editing work in different franchises. So I thought that was a really cool conversation. So thank you again for Tom for coming on the podcast. And yeah, look out for those episodes coming up. And happy Scream 7, everybody. We'll see you guys later. Until next time. This is the Never Split Up Pod. Follow us on social media at Never Split Up Pod on all of the social medias you can. Thank you so much. See you later.